Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday morning. It's Stephen Whiteside here from the uptrend.com. In the pre-market this morning, so far stock index futures are mixed. We've got the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq trading higher, while the Dow and the TSX 60 are trading lower on Tuesday morning. No major economic numbers coming out in the pre-market. We've got home sales and consumer confidence coming out at 10 a.m. Commodities are mixed at the moment. We've got gold up slightly and crude oil down slightly right now. So far it looks like we're going to have a mixed open on Tuesday morning. Just a reminder, our Black Friday sales going on. Thank you very much for the people who've already participated. There's two ways to participate. If you've never been a member before, you can sign up and use the coupon code Black Friday and save 30%. If you're a current member and you want to upgrade from a monthly to yearly membership, or save even more money and go from a yearly to 5-year membership, just send us an email and we'll send you all the instructions for doing that. Of course, if you currently have a member and you upgrade, we will refund you whatever the balance is from your previous membership. Now, looking at the Dow made a new high yesterday, and it made a new high on the back of some interesting stocks. Sherwin-Williams was the best performing stock on the Dow yesterday, followed by Boeing. And then we had United Health coming back on a buy signal as of Monday's close. Now, $600 is still a big round number for the S&P 500 ETF. We traded above it yesterday, but then pulled back. So that is still acting as resistance. If we can take out 600, then 609.38 would be our next mathematical target. Now, the big indices, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq 100, are still being held back by the big cap tech stocks. When you look at the equal weighted S&P 500, it was actually up nearly 1% yesterday and hit our next price target of 187.50. Now, the Nasdaq did not generate a buy signal yesterday. The Qs are still on a sell signal coming into today's trading action. Unlike the equal weighted Nasdaq, which punched through to new highs yesterday, as did the next generation Nasdaq 100 stocks. Now, we saw a little downward pressure in the Magnificent 7 ETF yesterday. It is still on a buy signal right now, but looking pretty weak. We've got NVIDIA back on a sell signal as of Monday's close, and we've got NVIDIA trading lower this morning. And we had some selling in Tesla yesterday, and Tesla is trading down in the pre-market this morning. So we're looking for a close below $322.50 on Tesla on Tuesday to give us a sell signal there. Now, the iShares for the Russell 2000 continued to move higher yesterday. They hit our next price target, so if you had an order in up there, it got filled. Congratulations. If we can take out yesterday's high, then 250 is our next target for the IWM. Now, what stock's been leading the markets higher? Well, on the S&P 500, it has been Supermicro, and we talked about this. The potential trade up to the open gap and the flypaper channel. Not a trade I wanted to take because, of course, this isn't a stock that's fallen because it got a bad product review or it missed deliveries or anything like that. It's accounting issues, and yeah, they got a new auditor, but we haven't heard from the auditor. So a stock like this in this situation, we're one press release away from the total collapse of the stock, and not something I wanted to take. But other people are obviously having a lot of fun with it and trading it up. So, of course, everybody's got their risk tolerance, and my risk tolerance is in other particular things at the moment. Now, Bitcoin ran up, hit 100,000 the other day on the futures contract. We looked at this chart on the weekend, and what I wanted to emphasize here was that last time we had a big move up, when Bitcoin moved up from 50,000 to 75,000, it took a break for a while and came all the way back down to 50,000 before running up and taking out 75,000. So I'm not, I can't predict the future, but right now we're stuck at a big round number. We could certainly punch through that and get to 112,050, 125,000. That is certainly possible. Coming into Tuesday's trading action, we're still closing above the upper channel line. So on Tuesday, which we're trading lower in the pre-market, but we're not trading below the $89,696 level. So that's what we would need to get a sell signal on Tuesday. And of course, if that doesn't happen, that lower channel line is going to continue to move higher daily. And you can see on the flypaper channel, if we're going to break down here, the flypaper channel is currently coming up to the $75,000 level, and just above that is an open gap. So maybe the open gap will be the target if Bitcoin starts to continue to trade lower from here. Now, again, mathematically speaking, on the daily chart, 106.25 and then 112.50, those would be the next targets to the upside on the daily chart. I'm looking for support here at 87.50. If that breaks, I'm pretty sure they're going to go for that open gap that was created at the start of November. Now, currencies are flying all over the place this morning. Trump announced he's going to lay some tariffs on. We got the US dollar higher, while we've got the Mexican peso and the Canadian dollar trading lower on Tuesday morning. Of course, those tariffs haven't gone into effect. He's going to sign a document, but who knows if they'll ever actually come into effect in real life. So far it's blustering. We'll just have to see how things work out once he becomes president. Looking at the Canadian market, we had a small pullback in the iShares for the TSX 60 yesterday. We're trying to get to 39.06. That's our next target. And then for the Vanguard Canada ETF, small pullback there, 2 cents. We're trying to get to 53.13. That's our next target. Now, the financials were up slightly on the day yesterday, and we're trying to get to 60.94 for the iShares Cap Financial ETF, and we're getting pretty close to it. Got as high as 60.72 yesterday. One stock in the news yesterday was CI Financial, which is getting taken out. It was up, closed up about 30% and change yesterday. The last buy signal on the daily right side chart was at the start of August. So it looks like people had some inclination that something was going on, but congratulations to anyone who had CI Financial. Taking a look at the rest of the banking sector, they all look pretty good at the moment, except one. And so there's the Bank of Montreal, Bank of Nova Scotia, CIBC, National Bank. And then the Royal Bank is still stuck here at 175. If we can take that out, then 181.25 would be our next target. And the ugly duckling right now is still the TD Bank. So nothing going on there. First sign something new is happening is if we can take out that high from a couple of weeks ago. Let's finish off this morning's presentation looking at commodity ETFs. And there's crude oil pulling back yesterday. We need to close on Tuesday below 71.51 to give us a sell signal. There we've got gasoline back on a sell signal as of Monday's close, which is, if we can get gasoline heading lower on a holiday week, that's a good thing. Then natural gas gapped higher yesterday. Didn't take out the previous high. Looking to see if we can do that on Tuesday. Then looking at the energy stocks, they pulled back yesterday. The iShares for the TSX energy sector, we're looking for a close below 17.91 on Tuesday to give us a sell signal. And in New York, we're looking for a close below $94.65. Then looking at the metals, copper, big announcement. There's going to be a huge mine built in Saudi Arabia, big copper mine. That's putting a little downward pressure on things this morning. So the price of copper is still on a sell signal. Copper miners still on a sell signal, and they're trading lower, nearly 1% in the pre-market on Tuesday morning. So not expecting a buy signal there. Now, we had the GLD. We had gold pulled back yesterday. It's up slightly in the pre-market this morning. Not enough to change things, but here we are. We traded up to the bottom of an open gap and quickly reversed. For the XGD, we did the similar thing. Went up, filled a gap, pulled back. GDX and the junior gold miners, those gaps are holding this market in check at the moment, and that is unfortunate. Then looking at the price of silver, it was down yesterday, still on a sell signal, no change there, and certainly no change for silver miners or for the junior silver miners, both trading lower on Monday. And the biggest loser on the TSX 60 yesterday was Wheaton, which is back on a sell signal as of Monday's close. And the second biggest loser was Kinross. For Kinross, we're still looking for a close below $13.54 on Tuesday to give us a sell signal there. Okay, folks, that is all for this morning's presentation. U.S. futures are higher. Dow futures and the TSX 60 futures are trading lower at the moment. So I'm sure the Canadian market's going to react to that news from Trump yesterday and put a little damper on things on Tuesday. You have a great day. Next time you'll hear my voice is going to be on Wednesday morning.